Hi, I'm bisexual and I'm trans, so I'm doubly blessed with being queer. And I'm late at the game. Being bisexual I discovered some 25 years ago, and being trans I only discovered 7 years ago. And one of the most important things when you're queer is that people respect you for who you are. I've lived my life being afraid to be who I am, so I'm quite strong about that thing. They don't have to understand who you are, but they have to expect me who I am and respect me for who I am. And you know, I did lose friends at that, because if you can't do that, I don't want you into my life. That's right. And it's difficult with family, because it's difficult to get them out of your life. And I didn't really want to, because I love my family and they love me. And you know, they tried hard, but I think, Hans, if the first thing you told about your family getting out of the closet, and they say, "Are you sure?" Yeah. So of course I'm sure. Come on, I've been through a process. No, and I didn't invite you into that process because I couldn't. It was a thing I had to do alone with a queer community, and I didn't trust it. So yes, of course I'm sure. And this question is exactly why I didn't want you into this process. And then and they loved me, and they said, "Yes, but you have to understand that it's also difficult for us." And I said, "Deal with it." Come on! I don't have to help you with your difficulties. It is difficult for me alone. The world is a dangerous place. I need you to have my back, and I don't want you to help you with your difficulties. And there's one exception, and that is for my kids. Because I will always have my back for my kids. So I was prepared to help them if they thought that they had troubles with my being trans. And luckily enough, they hadn't. And I love them for it. And I love them for them. And I have to tell you about my kids because I love them so much. I have 4 kids, and the oldest is a son. And I'll just tell little stories about them so that you all know them. And you know the stories, the family stories that keep getting with you. And the oldest one was the one who was afraid for monsters under his bed. And I was just beginning to think, how do I recognize his fear and still tell him that the monsters aren't real? When he said, you know, the monsters aren't real, it's my monsters, I invented them. So I said, what's the problem? They won't go away anymore. So that's my oldest, with a lot of fantasy. And then came my daughter, who was totally different. And she was very out, and she loved sports. And when we were in the mountains, and I, with my oldest boy, who was, I think, 7, and I said, I want to walk to the top. And it's a long walk, and we do it all day, and then we go back with a lift. And I asked my daughter, Teske, I said, you are the sport one. Where you want to go? And she said, well, what are we going to do? We're going to walk to the top. And she said, walk? Yeah, walk to the forest, and then there is no forest, and then we go, oh, sorry. Then we are in the top. And she said, walk? A whole day? That's boring. I don't want to walk a whole day. I want to climb. And she went to a little street where she could actually climb. And when we went back, and Jon had got a little thing from the top, and he show Teske, look, this is what I got, and this is from the top. Can you see it? And Teske said to me, why didn't you tell me? There was a reward. So I wanted to come if there was a reward. And then I said, we were all going to the top tomorrow with the lift up and down so you can get the same thing. But then I wouldn't have deserved it, she said. So, that is Teske. And then came Fenna. And Fenna is the one who said, can you pass me the butter? And we said, come on, the butter is there, you can take it yourself. And then Fenna said, no, because the butter is there, and I can only reach to here. That is Fenna. And the youngest one, she was just a bit like the oldest one, she was the poet. And she was always reading, and I, just a week ago, one of the most beloved Dutch children's book writers died, Tonke Dracht. And I told about her books, and in one of the books she translated a poem for it. And it's a very lovely poem. It begins with, nobody told me what nobody knows. It's very beautiful. And when I told this, and my youngest one, Wies was daarbij, she was there, and she read the poem out loud. She had learned it in her head, the Dutch version and the English version. And that went right into my heart, my beloved book, and she knew the poem by heart. And that is Wies. But my story is about Fenna. Because, you know, there's one child who looks most like you, and you have the most fights with him. Yeah. And Fenna just found out this year that she is, sometimes I lose words, autistic. And she just found that out this year. And I also found out this year that I'm autistic. And 4 years ago, I did a test with a psychiatrist. And like it was a card game, she said, I can't give you autism. I have OCD for you. Because, you see, you're too normal for being autistic. And I said, okay, give me the OCD. At least I have a word for people to show if I'm strange, yeah, but I have OCD. You know, this is my place here. And there's no other place. So that's my OCD. If there's someone in that place, my whole evening is wrong. But actually I'm autistic because I went through the same questionnaire and all these questions for my daughter, and when she answered them, and Fenna is way more honest about herself, for herself, than I am for me. And Fenna told these questions, and I thought, but I recognized it. There's all those questions I said, no, I'm not like that. And I thought, I am like that. There's all these times I answered no, I should have answered yes. So I'm not doing the test again, but I know I'm trans. And autistic, and it's a combi. And when you think that an autistic parent is very good for an autistic child, yes and no. Because I did understand her, but my autism banged with her autism sometimes. So we had fights. And then, when I was trans and I told my children, and they all said, so, we didn't expect that, but okay, that's cool. And Fenna was, at that time, living at home again. Because she had problems in her studies and she was at home. And she was at home when I tried out my first dress. And it was very late, and she was still up, and I pointed my head out from the door, and I said, "I'm wearing a dress. Do you want to see it, or should I take it out?" And she said, "Come on." And then, when I was there with my dress, she said, "This is strange. It suits you." Wow! And we talked all evening. And we talked about everything. And he said, "You know, actually, you are more open. You are more yourself. You are less stressy. You're easier to talk with now. So you don't have a problem." No, so I love you like this. And you know, I missed you as a father. I still am their father. I discovered it so late. I can't be anything else than their father. I still do Parents' Day with them, which is very lovely. But she told me everything she missed me as a father. And then she said, you know, we had a fight. And then you would come to my room to make up. And then you would tell me that you understood me. But you did that with your stories about yourself when you were a kid. And then it was about you again, and not about me. And it cost me a lot, but I didn't cry, because I didn't want to be about me that evening. I wanted to be about her. And since that time, we were very close. And she even asked me to move, and she didn't want to move. Me helping her, because I will always get stressed, and she gets stressed for me being stressed. And if I say I'm not stressed, and she says, "Yes, you are," because she knows me better than I do. And this was so great, and we moved, and there was an accident, and we broke things, and it was okay. And this daughter, 2 years ago, I had a stroke, and I was with my kids, and we were I just practiced the name of the town there. It's in English a weird name. It's not the capital.
Worcester.
Nah, doesn't matter. I will shout it out, as I always do, late. Oh yeah, that's the name. It doesn't matter. We were to a museum, and it was great, and then we went shopping, and we were in a shop, and then suddenly I went dizzy, and I said, "I need to sit down." And they said, "No, you need to call your physician." And I got my phone, and I didn't recognize anything of my phone. So, how does this work? What do I do with this phone? And then they definitely called, and it had Face ID, so they could call my physician, and the ambulance came, and Fenna was the one who was with me in the ambulance. And then I realized, oh my God, I've forgotten her name. I've forgotten all the name of all my kids. And I've forgotten my own name. And the awkward thing was, I knew my old name. And that felt not right. I wanted to know my name now. So I asked Fenna, who are you? What's your name? And please tell me what's my name. And you know what Fenna said? And it was so beautiful. She said, "You are Emma." And she didn't say the name you use now is Emma. She didn't say you want to be called Emma. She said, "You are Emma." And there's so much love from that, so much respect. So even if I'm the one I think, who has to have the back of my kids, I know the kids have my back.